What's good? What's good? I am back. Yours truly, the one and only Paul Pickett. This is the Paul Pickett podcast. I got a few topics today. Of course, before I get into things, I gotta let you know this podcast is being recorded live on TikTok. We do our TikTok live stream, so if you're on TikTok, hit that follow. Also, I have another camera that pre-records for YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And now I got a Rumble, so check me out on Rumble as well. And then the audio version goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Slacker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, and much more. Don't forget my podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. If you need online marketing promotion for your music, your product, your brand, and your service, check out promopalace.biz. If you're a dog lover like me, if you're a cat lover, you're an animal lover, animal rights activist, and you like t-shirts or hoodies with dogs and cats on them, please check out New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. We got a bunch of t-shirts and hoodies with cats and dogs, as well as sneakers and apparel for your dogs to wear, like dog bandanas, and we got dog tags as well. New Litter Apparel dog tags. You gotta have dog tags. For Shizzle, last but not least, I got to shout out Dizzlebrand.com. Just add ice, Dizzle on ice. Check them out, Dizzlebrand.com. Step into the future, do your Dizzle, Dizzlebrand.com. Follow them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and there's a TikTok as well, Dizzlebrand TikTok. Follow them on there. They got a dozen recipes on there on the website that you can mix your Dizzle with. You can actually order Dizzle online on the website as well. And Dizzle will be coming soon to a bar, venue, or a liquor store near you. Let me get into some of these scores. Let me pull up these NBA scores. There wasn't no NFL scores last night, I don't think. Wait. Or was there? There was a game. Oh, my bad. No, it wasn't. There was no NFL scores, but me going to my standings and see if Paul's power picks still hold. And I don't think they are. I think my Paul's power picks have changed. So we're going to go through Paul's power picks right now. Number one, I got the Green Bay Packers still, man. I still got the Packers. Because the Packers has been consistently all year long doing Packer-like things. And as long as I've been alive, Packers have always been good. They've always been good. I remember performing halftime in the Super Bowl. Not the actual Super Bowl, but performing at actually I was at a church. I performed halftime of the Super Bowl when Packers played the Patriots. Of course, I'm not a churchy guy anymore, so I don't think any differently of me because I performed halftime of the Super Bowl at a church. And yes, I was rapping. And yes, I did give people at that church a new perspective on rap and hip hop. But yeah, number one, Green Bay Packers. Number two, I got to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. 8-game winning streak. Number one team in the AFC. What more can I say? Patrick, my homeboy. I mean, not more to say. Number three. Hey, this is going to be a tough one. Number three, I'm going with the Dallas Cowboys. I'd be saying this, but Dallas Cowboys. And they were in my top five for Paul's power picks last week. But I don't remember if I had them that high. I got to check the Paul's power pick image that I created. Number four, I'm going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And number five, Buffalo Bills. They're back in my Paul's power picks. New England fell out. And to be honest with you, next week that might all change. You might see the Bengals in Paul's power picks at the end of the year. Watch out for the Bengals. Bengals is a real good sleeper team. I mean, they're going to make the playoffs more likely. And like I said, watch out for the Colts. Colts, I don't know nobody wants to face the Colts in the playoffs. Jonathan Taylor can put that 150 up on them at any given time. And there ain't really no sleepers in the NFC. It's either just Packers, Buccaneers, or the Cowboys or the Rams to win. None of the wild cards stand a chance. I'm saying it right now. None of the wild cards in the NFC stand a chance. All right, let's go up to the NBA. Last night, Milwaukee Bucks beat the Orlando Magic. Miami Heat beat the Washington Wizards. And Washington Wizards are starting to come back down to earth. Definitely, they would look like a good team at the beginning of the season. Definitely good on paper, but they're starting to come back down to earth. And the health and safety protocols is partially some of the reason for that, too. You know, they've had players in and out because of health and safety protocols. Philly beat Toronto. Toronto is definitely just not what they used to be. And not that they're on a total rebuild. They just got to make some tweaks. Lakers beat Houston. I mean, and if the Lakers didn't beat Houston if Houston beat the Lakers last night, the Lakers season would have been officially done. Officially done. You know, but they got a little bit of hope still left. The Knicks beat Minnesota Timberwolves, and the Knicks should not be beating the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota Timberwolves, on paper, I mean, hold on, I got to pull up this box score. I got to see, like, who didn't play for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Okay, that's the only reason. The only reason is because none of the starters for the Timberwolves started. There's no other reason that the Knicks should be beating the Timberwolves when you got Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, and my man Anthony Bennett. Or not Anthony Bennett, but my man Anthony Edwards. My bad, Anthony Bennett. I didn't mean to disrespect Anthony Edwards and call him Anthony Bennett, you know. But it is early. I did smoke a little work, you know. Did smoke a little piece. You know, if Bill Maher can smoke and can openly talk about smoking, well, so be it. Paul Pickett Podcast can. Triple P can. But, yeah, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and D'Angelo Russell should not be losing against the Knicks. But I knew something was up when the Knicks won. Pelicans beat the Cavs. And Pelicans actually been balling out of late. Let me pull up this box score. Denver beat Golden State, and I want to pull that up because I'm pretty sure a couple players is out. Cleveland is definitely, I mean, Cleveland had enough players where they should have won, but, you know, Cleveland had Darius Garland didn't play. That's their number one player. Darius Garland is their number one player. Your number one player ain't playing. You got a valid excuse of losing. You know what I'm saying? And Jared Allen didn't play either. They had Evan Mobley playing at center. So their top two players on their team didn't play. That's the only reason the Cavs lost. Because the Cavs are actually really a good team this year. I mean, they got Darius Garland. Laurie Marketing ain't doing much of nothing, but he put up 14. But Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, and Jared Allen as your big three, it's a nice three. And then you got a veteran Ricky Rubio and Kevin Love, and then they still got Isaac Okoro, who's young, and Laurie Marketing, who I said. And Cedi Osman has been balling out, very efficient this year. But, yeah, New Orleans was out without a couple players, too, though. They didn't even have Brandon Ingram. That's the thing. These health and safety protocols are so bogus, man. Like, dudes only tested negative, and they still got to be out for games and quarantine. And y'all sitting there talking about the Omicron is less deadly than the original COVID-19 strand and the Delta. If there's 3 strands out there, and it's the least deadly, why are y'all fear-mongering like it's as bad as the other 2 when it's not? You know, it's not, man. It's really, really not. And let's see. OKC played Sacramento. Let's see. Was there any more games past that? No, let's pull up this. Okay, Oklahoma City, Sacramento. And Sacramento won, of course. But that's only because, I mean, once again, health and safety protocols. Look like Josh Giddey didn't play, who is a starter as a rookie, but him and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander make up that backcourt. They had to move Luke Dort to shooting guard. It looks like because Shea Gilgeous-Alexander played point guard last night. But they had nothing but like bench players in the front court, So this health and safety protocol, it's really hard to really tell what some teams are and what they really have when they're losing games that they shouldn't be losing because 3 starters is out because of health and safety protocol. They're all tested negative. And yes, there's a lot of positive cases in the NBA. There ain't nobody in the NBA, no player in the NBA or no athlete has died from COVID. There's no evidence of any athlete dying of COVID. So we got to stop acting like the pandemic is the same for everybody. No, it's a pandemic for unhealthy people. Unhealthy people. Once again, I haven't been sick in 3 years. You tell me how many people know people that haven't been sick in 3 years. I can tell you exactly what it is. We don't need Dr. freaking Fauci to step up to tell you why Paul Pickett podcast has not been sick in 3 years. It's because I work alone and I live alone. So what does that tell you? Where do most people get sick? From people they work with and live with. This idea that if we just bump into each other at the grocery store, I'm going to get you sick or you're going to get me sick. No, it's not happening that way. When we just, bam, you're on the go. When you're on the go, you're not just getting sick. But when you stop, you're in the house 8 hours around somebody who might be sick, then you get sick. Or you're at work and you're in this one area working for 8 hours around somebody who might be at work sick. But all these other things y'all try to throw into place, all these other mandates, these restaurant mandates, people ain't getting sick. The only people getting sick at restaurants is the workers. Getting the other workers sick. And most people don't even go to work when they're sick, man. I mean, I know people that will call in for the slightest little sniffles or the slightest little cough, and they will call in to work every single time, Let's get into Paul's power picks for the NBA. Number 1, Golden State Warriors, man. I know people saying Phoenix is better. On paper, Phoenix is better. They got more All-Stars right now. They got 3 legit All-Stars right now. Now, Draymond is not a legit All-Star too much no more because he doesn't really score like an All-Star. So they really got Steph Curry is the only legit All-Star until Klay Thompson comes back. Andrew Wiggins has never been an All-Star, and Juan Toscano is never going to be one, and Jordan Poole is probably never going to be one. I don't know that their number 2 pick, Wiseman, is ever going to be an All-Star, But Golden State doing what they're doing with only 1 All-Star, it's just really, it's great team basketball, great team offense to defense. Steve Kerr has got this culture. Like, I know people say that Mark Jackson, they think that Mark Jackson could have won a championship with Golden State. I don't know that Mark Jackson would have won a championship with Golden State. I don't know that he unlocks Steph Curry like Steve Kerr did or has. I mean, like, Steve Kerr instantly unlocked Steph Curry. He literally Steve Kerr was supposed to be coaching the Knicks, if I'm not mistaken, and then the Golden State Warriors job opened up, and he he went sprinting to that joker and instantly won a championship. And they went to like what 4 or 5 straight championships on a curve. They'll probably be in the finals again this year. So number 1, Golden State. Number 2, the Phoenix Suns. Number 3, the Brooklyn Nets. Number 4, the Chicago Bulls. And number 5, the Milwaukee Bucks. And even though technically I would say the Milwaukee Bucks are probably a better team on paper come playoff time, Chicago Bulls have been better all year long. All year long. Even with the health and safety protocols, DeRozan going out, Levine was out a couple games. I mean, these boys come back and just putting up 28. That's the thing. Levine and DeRozan, every night they're playing, they're putting up 25 and 28 apiece. Michael and Scotty didn't put up 25 and 28 apiece. There's no other team in NBA that has 2 players putting up 25 to 28 apiece every single night they're on the court. But Zach LaVine, DeRozan, and people question, well, how are they going to work together? I mean, that's how. That's how they're going to work together. They're going to put up 25 and 28 apiece every single night. DeRozan's still going to be the mid-range assassin. And Zach LaVine is still just this athletic freak and could drive to the basket, shoot threes, do whatever, man. Zach LaVine, I know that, I hate to say it, Timberwolves made a mistake by giving up Zach LaVine. They should have kept Zach LaVine and got rid of Andrew Wiggins. If they would have traded Andrew Wiggins for Jimmy Butler, and they would have had Karl-Anthony Towns, Jimmy Butler, and Zach LaVine, Jimmy Butler would stay because Zach LaVine would have had that dog mentality. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Karl-Anthony Towns and both Wiggins didn't have that dog mentality. That's what made it bad for the T-Wolves. Both of them did. But if one of them had it, then Butler might still be there. Who knows? He might would have stayed. He might not be ready to leave so fast if Zach LaVine. But that's the thing. Zach LaVine is a better player than Andrew Wiggins right now. Zach LaVine is better than Andrew Wiggins right now and last year, maybe the year before. Ever since Zach LaVine came to the Bulls, he has clearly been on a uprise. And Wiggins, don't get me wrong, Wiggins is playing his role at the Warriors. But he's averaging the same thing he was averaging at the T-Wolves, 18, 19 a game. Andrew Wiggins was supposed to be a 25-plus a game scorer based on his athletic ability alone. But he doesn't seem to have that dog in him. He doesn't have that Kobe Bryant, that Michael Jordan, that Allen Iverson. You know, he doesn't have that in him. And you know, you can't really expect every player to have that dog in him. You know, I mean, he might have a dog in him, but it's not the dog we need. We need like that pit bull, Rottweiler, you know, but he's got that poodle. You know, he's got that little poodle in him, and that's pretty much it. All right, let me get into some of these topics. First topic I want to get into is 38% of people don't watch basketball anymore because it's too political. I've always said this, man, from day one. There's no place for politics in sports. This is why. Sports is supposed to be an escape from politics. I repeat, sports is supposed to be an escape from politics. We got enough politics in the movies. We got enough politics in the music. We don't need politics in sports. We don't need politics in all of our entertainment. Because guess what? Once all of our entertainment has politics in it, it's no longer entertaining. Once there's too much politics in all of the entertainment of the world, it's no longer entertaining. There's nothing entertaining about politics. It's a headache. That's all it is. Politics is a headache. It's a bunch of politicians that spew a bunch of promises that they know they can't keep. But they're trying to get people to vote on them based on the promises that they're spewing. That's a headache. There's nothing entertaining about that. So there's no place for politics in sports. It's already heavily in music. It's already heavily in acting and movies. We don't need politics super heavy in all of our sports. And I'm with people like, once I start seeing too many politics, just too many political stances, I don't got time to watch it, man. It's not entertaining anymore. I might as well just watch a movie. So yeah, 38. That's why NBA ratings are down. It had nothing, people try to blame pandemics, COVIDs, things like that. No, it's politics and woke politics. There's no place for woke politics or too many politics in sports. First of all, woke politics alienates half of the sports fan base. It alienates half the sports fan base. Because woke politics calls half of the sports fan base white supremacists and racists when you haven't even met these people. Like, I never judge a group of people based on, one person's actions. And that's what society does with these woke politics. You take one person's actions, like maybe we'll take somebody like Christopher Columbus, who was a slave trader, and you say, everybody in America is Christopher Columbus. Really? I mean, but that would be like white people saying all black people are criminals because this one guy did something criminal wise. Like the guy that killed his wife and kid. That would be like me saying all black people are psycho criminals just because he did that. No. Like, you have to judge every person by their character. Are they an honest human being, a dishonest human being? Are they a hypocrite, a non-hypocrite? Double standards, not double standards. Those are the things I go off. Honest, dishonest, hypocrite. You live off double standards, As long as you're an honest human being, usually good to go with me. Because usually honest people, pretty much everything else is honest about them. Even key. But 38% of people not watching basketball because of too much politics. I get that. Because if there's too much politics in sports, I don't want to watch it. And I'm starting to think that my podcast is not really a sports podcast at all. It's really just a call out the hypocrisies and the double standards of society, And that's the thing. You can't expect the ratings to go up when you alienate half of your fan base. You alienate half of your customer base. If, like, I promote music for a living. If I get on there and say, you know what? All my white customer base, they're oppressors and white supremacists and racists. I don't got to worry about me saying I don't want their money anymore. As soon as it gets back to them, trust me, they won't be bringing their money to me. And anybody that knows me is I promote music for a living. And the number one genre that I promote is hip-hop. So that would be like me alienating all of my hip-hop clients, Like, just saying something just so bad, it would just basically offend all my hip-hop clients. And they were like, well, I ain't buying promo with him no more. I mean, that's got to be the dumbest thing for any business to do, is alienate half of your consumer base, half of your fan base. That's dumb for a musician to do. It's dumb for a business to do, a product, a service. Like, I would never alienate half of my customer base at one one time. You alienate them all at once, and then wonder why ratings are going down. You're losing money, because that's because there's no place for too much politics in sports. Maybe a little bit, but after the game, in the interviews, there's no place for politics on the court. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If there's too much politics on the court, I ain't watching it. I might as well watch a movie. But yeah, that 38%, man, that's a big drop of your consumer base. That's 4 out of every 10 customers gone because you alienated half of them because you took this political stance. There's no place for political stances in the business world. I repeat, there's no place for political stances in the business world. I'm not taking no political stance in the business world. I'm not a Democrat. I am not a Republican. And just to clarify for people that say, well, he's always talking about the far left radicals. I voted once in my life, and I voted Democrat. Barack Obama. Of course, I was swindled out of my vote. Totally. I didn't vote for Barack Obama because he was the first actual president of color that stand a chance of getting elected. I voted for Barack Obama because he seemed like a decent human being based on listening to him speak and his rhetoric, and I thought he was actually going to do something for black people. So I was swindled because he's the greatest actor president. He's a greater actor president than Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan is nowhere near the actor that Barack Obama is. Barack Obama is the greatest actor president of all times. I mean, he literally started this racial tension, and it started during the end of his election. But there's just no place for too much politics in sports, man. It's already in all the other entertainment. Entertainment is not entertaining when there's too much politics. It's just a headache. It's just the alienation of half your fan base. Because that's all the Republicans and Democrats are doing right now. They're just alienating each other. One side is alienating the other. The far right is alienating the far left and whatnot. Now you got the far left is even alienating people that are just on the left. That's the thing. There's just so many. You got far right and the right. Then you got the middle. And then you got the left. And then you got the far left. There's 5 levels to this, And the far right is going at the right. The far left is going at the left. Right going at left. They all going at each other. It's crazy. And then they're going at they're going at each other. When the Democrats are at war with themselves, how can anything ever get done in politics? They can't never have no reasonable conversations because these people on both sides of the fence always have their minds made up and then you can't do nothing to convince them to change their minds, man. So there's no place for politics and sports, man. Let me talk about this. I know y'all seen this video. This Delta Karen, Patricia Cornwall, former Baywatch actress or actor. I don't know what the politically correct way is to call it now. I guess you got to call them all actors. She assaulted this older man on the plane. I know. I was going to pull the video up, but I couldn't get the audio to play. So I'm going to have to get on Google and see what I'm doing wrong. Y'all got to bear with me. This is my first year of podcasting. I am 94 episodes into it. Now, been doing this for a year. I will figure it out. Nothing but a Google issue. If anything I need to know in life, I Google it. When somebody asks me a question, that's all I tell them. Google it, man. Don't be asking me. Ask Google. Because if it ain't on Google, then it's not out there. I always say if it ain't on Google, then it's locked up in the Vatican bank somewhere. But this Karen, there's a lot of things I take from this. If y'all go back and watch the video, all you gotta do is like Google Delta Karen incident. Number one, she's a hypocrite because she's sitting there with her mask, not covering her face, and she's trying to bitch and complain about somebody who's maskless, who apparently was maskless because he was eating on the plane. I mean, from day one, when they started requiring people to go into restaurants with masks, I instantly said, whoever thought of this has no freaking common sense whatsoever. You're dumber than a bag of bricks. Because why would you wear a mask going into a restaurant when you clearly have to take the mask off to eat, you dumbasses? You morons, you idiots, you jackasses. Why wear a mask in a restaurant when you clearly have to take the mask off to eat? That makes no sense whatsoever. You want people to wear masks in the grocery store? Well, guess what? They're not eating in the grocery store. Yeah, the IGA, I can get a chicken plate, but I'm not eating my chicken plate in the grocery store. People are taking it home and eating. Like this idea that you wear a mask when you go into the restaurant at any point is so dumb. The only people that should have to really wear a mask is the workers, because they're the ones really at risk because they could get sick from other workers. So the Karen is already a hypocrite because you haven't even got the mask covering your face and you're bitching about somebody wearing a mask. Another thing I take from this is people ain't got no respect for their elders anymore. They just ain't got no respect for elders no more, which is a very bad thing. If people ain't got no respect for elders, that means they ain't got no respect for nobody anymore. And if you ain't got no respect for me or if elders, or why the hell would I respect anything about you if you don't respect older people who've lived longer than you, that are wiser than you, that know more than you? If you have zero respect for elder people or people that live longer than you, then you have no respect for nobody. And then nobody should respect you. Respect is a two-way street, motherfuckers. Two-way street. Yeah, y'all got me cussing because it's such a hypocrisy and a double standard that people think that respect is a one-way street. No, respect is a two-way street. It goes both ways. Respect is like trust. It goes both ways. It's like honesty. It goes both ways. If only one side trusts the other, there is no trust. If only one side respects the other, then there is no respect at all. So she's a hypocrite. She has no respect for elders. And like, she scratched the old man's face. Now okay, if a woman scratched my face, okay, somebody better get her. Once she spits in my face, I don't care who you are, man or woman, you deserve to get knocked the fuck out. If a woman spit in my face, I would knock her the fuck out. If anybody spits in my face, I'm going to assault your ass like you've never been assaulted before. Because that is one of the most disrespectful things you could do in society. Fuck name calling. Fuck you motherfuckers crying over some name calling. If you spit in somebody's face, I don't care if you calls the white man a honky or cracker or a black man the N-word. Spitting in somebody's face is far worse. You spit in somebody's face, man, you might be asking to die, man. You might be asking to die. That is one of the most blatant things you could do in society, is spit on somebody. I don't care if a woman spits on a man. A man should have every right to knock her ass out. You don't spit on people. That's one thing you just don't do, man. You're fucking asking for it. If you spit on somebody and they shoot your ass, As far as I'm concerned, you asked for it. You were asking for it, motherfucker. You don't spit on nobody. You put hands on somebody, like you grab somebody by their shoulder, and before you spit on somebody, you spit on somebody. You're asking for it, man. That is the ultimate disrespect. If that old man would have got up and knocked her ass out, he would have been justified as far as I'm concerned. You don't spit on nobody. I'm sorry. And anybody that thinks that somebody could just get away with spitting on somebody and they shouldn't be allowed to retaliate, why don't you go try to spit on somebody and see what the hell happens to your dumb ass? See what happens to your dumb ass when you go try to spit on somebody. Just go try to spit on a random stranger and see what the hell happens to your ass. You don't spit on people, man. They talking about locking her up for a year. She put her hands on the guy, she scratched his face, and she spit on him. And he didn't do nothing back. Hell yeah, lock that dumbass white lady up for a year. Lock that dumbass Karen up for a year. That's what we call dumbass crackers. Crazy ass crackers right there. Lock that cracker up for a year. Hell yeah. I mean, it's crackers like that and Karens like that give a bad name for white people like me. They really give a bad name for white people like me. I mean, because, no, that's a no-no. Yeah, lock her ass up. I don't know why the FBI even has to get involved. I mean, I guess because it happened on a plane. Like, that's the thing. Like, you don't do things on airplanes either. You assault somebody on an airplane, that is a federal offense. It's not a felony. It's federal. So, you know, that's like the time me and my boy was on a casino boat and we smoked weed on a casino boat and we almost got caught rolling up weed on a casino boat. Dude, we was in the middle of Atlantic, man, where it was legal to gamble. If we crossed across international waters, if I'm not mistaken, like they literally could have locked us up like crazy, man, for that. There's no telling what they could have done to us. They definitely would have handcuffed us till we got back. There's no telling what kind of charges we would have faced. You know, like, yeah, man, you don't assault people on an airplane at all unless you're asking for it. Longer time than a felon. And you don't spit on people. I mean, if that old man would have got up and knocked her ass out, she would have got what she deserved. You just don't spit on people, man. But I got to give him old man props, man. He stood there and kept his cool and let the people of authority on the plane do their job. And, I mean, she was a Baywatch chick anyways. I mean, we're supposed to expect them chicks to be smart and not do dumb stuff. I mean, when they said she was a Baywatch chick, that said it all right there. Oh, okay. Now, go figure. So what else we got? I want to talk about this, the ASU multicultural harassment issue thing. I seen the video. I never really talked about it. I seen the video first with the, and I wanted to pull up the video, but like I said, the audio wasn't playing on my StreamYard, so I'm gonna Google it, figure it out, why it's not playing, why I can't hear it or whatnot. Could be my sound card, I don't know. But I watched the original video where two white guys are in this multicultural place and these girls start harassing them. Because that's what it was. The guys were just sitting there minding their business. When somebody's sitting there minding their business and you just go over there and blatantly start harassing them, I mean, you're in the wrong. Because, like, they go over there and they say something. They start complaining about the guy's sticker on his laptop. And she's like, well, you got a Police Lives Matter sticker on it. That's how dumb the chicks are. They're at a freaking university and they can't even read. The sticker did not say Police Lives Matter. It said Police Matter. Well, they do. Because who the hell investigates crimes besides police? Normal citizens? I don't think so. Who the hell's actually arresting cold-blooded murderers and rapists and pedophiles and child molesters and armed robbers and coke dealers and crack dealers? Who's actually arresting them people? Citizens? I don't think so. So, first of all, they can't even read. They're at a university, can't even read. This is why I've said college degrees are so far overrated. I have no high school diploma, and I've been self-employed for 10 years, and I don't know none of my friends that have been self-employed for 10 years with college degrees. None of my friends with college degrees have been self-employed a day in their freaking life. They work for somebody and make less money than me, but college degrees mean so much. There's plenty of people with college degrees that can't even really do the damn job good. They can't even do their job good. Well, so that's the first thing I noticed is like they can't even read and they're at a university. Second of all, you're trying to harass somebody like they're harassing you and violating you, and they're just sitting there. They're just sitting there minding their business, and you come up to them and start harassing them. And didn't you try to make reference of a Chick-fil-A cup as being racist, as a racist trigger? Really? Really? I don't know nobody on the freaking planet that doesn't like Chick-fil-A except a damn vegan. Muslims love Chick-fil-A. Stop it! Only people that don't like Chick-fil-A are vegans. Everybody loves Chick-fil-A. The number one freaking chicken sandwich on the planet. So, and they're a religious organization at that, but apparently a Chick-fil-A cup is racist. Then he has a Bass Pro hat. Bass Pro is fishing. Apparently fishing is racist. Apparently black people don't fish at all because fishing is racist. Like, people are starting to attach racism to things that have nothing to do with racism. Fishing has nothing to do with racism. A Bass Pro hat, I know what it is what the girls, this is how that they're racist. They're basically trying to label everybody who wears a Bass Pro hat as a redneck racist. That's really what it is. They're saying he's a redneck racist because he's got a Bass Pro hat on. And he's got a Police Matter sticker. Not a Police Lives Matter. Apparently, the chicks can't read. They can apparently read the letter they probably got from the university about kicking them out, but they can't read a sticker on a laptop. So they harass the guys because they got a sticker that says Police Matter. They got a Bass Pro hat on, which is apparently saying he's a redneck racist, and he eats Chick-fil-A. Oh, okay. Apparently chickens are racist. Chick-fil-A is racist. A Chick-fil-A cup is apparently a soda is racist. Coca-Cola, ice, everything about the cup, the straw. Apparently the paper around the straw to open the straw, apparently that's racist. But so now the university is talking about kicking them out, and then people talking about acting like they're the victims. No, the victims are the two white guys that were sitting there minding their business that you harassed. You harassed them. They didn't harass you. This is the thing, man. Like, I've been in public and seen plenty of t-shirts that I might find offensive. But guess what? We don't get to tell people what to wear or what stickers to put on their laptop. We don't get to dictate that. And they was like, well, the sticker was pointing at me. Maybe because the laptop was facing you. Duh. This idea that like this guy literally just goes, you know what? We're going to go ahead today and we're going to point our police matter sticker at these people. Shut up, man. Nobody even thinks that hard, man. Nobody's thinking that hard and shit like that. So if they get kicked out, they should get kicked out because they were harassing other students that were clearly there minding their own business, trying to get an education. And the girls that were complaining or harassing them are clearly blatant racists. Clearly blatant racists. You can pull up videos of them calling Kyle Rittenhouse, which I'm going to get into next, a white supremacist, a racist, this, that. They're just all these things that are not true. And then now let's get into this Kyle Rittenhouse I saw where Officer Tatum had a topic, is Kyle Rittenhouse a hero? Well, he looked up the definition of hero. And based on the definition of hero, yes, Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero. First of all, Kyle Rittenhouse was a volunteer firefighter. That is already the first signs of a hero, a guy who's heroic. I mean, because, like, even I got to pull up the definition of hero. But I know y'all like to redefine things in society, but guess what? We've already made a definition of hero. You don't get to redefine. A person who's admired or idolized for courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities. Well, guess what? It takes a very courageous and noble person to be a volunteer firefighter. It takes a very courageous and noble person to be a first responder. It takes a very courageous and noble person to protect businesses from being burnt down and looted in his community. Because if the police are not going to do their job, then it's left for average citizens. But how many of those are actually going to step up to the plate and be courageous and be noble? How many people in this world are willing to be volunteer firemen right now? I could tell you probably only 1 out of every 10 people are willing to be volunteer firefighters. That means 90% of the world is not courageous and not noble. And we're sitting there trying to point fingers? 90% of the world wouldn't even be a firefighter or a first responder. 90% of the world is not even courageous or noble at all. And we're going to point fingers? Everything about Kyle Rittenhouse says hero, courageous, noble. He was a volunteer firefighter, which if you're saying volunteer firefighters aren't courageous or noble, I'm saying you're a complete scumbag for thinking that. They're the most courageous and noble people on the planet is volunteer firefighters. Some firefighters in some places don't get paid squat. Nothing. Volunteers definitely don't get paid. It's one of the most courageous and noble things you can do in society. And probably 99.9% of people wouldn't do it. But we want to point fingers. The most unnoble and uncourageous people in society. Would I be a volunteer firefighter? Hell no. I'm not that noble and I'm not that courageous. Hell to the no. I'm not risking my life for a bunch of complete strangers, especially if they're far woke left radicals who are calling me a white racist supremacist when I'm clearly not. Why would I care about going to risk my life for a person who clearly has not met me and knows nothing about me. They don't know that my number one movie of all time is Glory, and I cry over it every freaking time. No. Let me repeat that. My number one movie of all time is Glory, and I cry every motherfucking time. Why? Because it touches my heart every time. It hits me every time to see that movie. To see the things that happen in Glory. Just the movie hits me. Another movie, Denzel Washington, John Q. I cry every time, man. And that's 2 Denzel Washington movies we at right now. And anybody, this is the thing, I take the stance that Denzel Washington takes on race is the stance that I take. Denzel Washington would be the number one guy that I would vote to be president or president of the United States or leader of the world. If anybody has the right understanding and the right take on race, it's Denzel motherfucking Washington. So yeah, based on the definition of a hero, Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero. And people that say, no, he's not. How many of y'all are volunteer firefighters, are willing to be volunteer firefighters, are willing to be volunteer first responders and stuff like that? How many of y'all are willing? That's like 9/11. When 9/11 goes, how many of y'all are willing to go out there and help dig up bodies and save people during 9/11? I guarantee most of y'all won't. 90% of Americans wouldn't. Because 90% of Americans are self-centered sons of bitches. That's fact, man. Most people are selfish, self-centered. I could be pretty selfish. I care about people. But at this point in life, I can be pretty selfish. Especially when you start to realize how more selfish everybody around you is. The older you get, the more your friendship circle diminishes. You start to really realize who your real friends are the older you get. Your real true friends. When I got hit by a car, none of my white friends came to see me in the hospital. Only black friends came to see me in the hospital. Only some of my black friends. Not all of them, some of them. That's when I clearly knew that my black friends were clearly my only true friends. And that's another reason why all white people can't be racist. If all white people are racist, then why the hell, when I got hit by the car, why was it only my black friends came to see me? You know why? Because all white people aren't racist. That's why. You know why? Because my black friends know that I care about them as much as they care about me. That I trust them as much as they trust me. I got love for them as much as they got love for me. I got black friends that if somebody killed me today, if somebody put a hit out on me today, which who would put a hit out on me? I'm just throwing it out there. Somebody put a hit out on me. Let's walk with this fairy tales. Somebody puts a hit out on Paul Pickett. I got a friend that would, you better hope he doesn't find out who did it. Because he will get revenge for me. He will revenge in the name of the Paul Pickett podcast. He will get revenge. You know, he will be that noble and courageous and heroic to go and get revenge if somebody just gunned me down. Because if somebody gunned me down, it would definitely be for no freaking reason. No reason whatsoever. Because I don't mess with people. I don't rob people. I don't steal people. I don't harm people. I don't commit violence on people. You know, I just, get up every day. I have a goal of making money in my legitimate online business and businesses. and a goal of building my podcast and building my clothing apparel and helping get Dizzle brand off the ground so I can get a large salary as head of promotion or maybe even 1% of ownership, you know. But yes, Kyle Rittenhouse is a hero. And the self-defense case doesn't change any of that. He didn't kill somebody in cold-blooded murder. He defended his life. You know, it's easy for somebody to say it wasn't self-defense until you're sitting there on your back while somebody's standing over you with a gun pointing down at you. You're on your back and somebody's standing over you with a gun. You know, if a person who's never had a gun put to them in their entire life, never had a gun put to their face, or never had a gun put to their gut like me, robbed for their jewelry, robbed for every piece of jewelry, person who's never had an experience like that, it's easy for y'all to say it wasn't self-defense. You ain't never had a nut put to your face. You ain't never had a toolie put to your face. But when somebody puts a gun to you, we'll see how threatened you feel. Jewelry, all the jewelry in the world means nothing to me when somebody has a gun to my gut. And when you can't see it coming, that's even worse. Somebody just walks up, puts a gun to your gut. That's not a good feeling. And how do I know that it's going to end there? How do I know it's going to end there with them just robbing me? How do I know they won't kill me just cuz? Because that's what cold-blooded murder is. Killing somebody just cuz. People, cold-blooded murders kill people just cuz, man. People been shot over parking spaces before. So what the hell, once again, what do you think spitting on somebody should get you? If people get caught, killed over a parking space, what the hell should spitting on somebody get you? You want to know who was heroic? The old man that just stood there and let the woman spit on him. I'm not that heroic. I'd have punched her in her mouth, man. Ain't nobody going to spit on me and think I'm not putting hands on them. I'm sorry. And I'm not a violent person at all. I'm not violent at all. Whatsoever. But if you spit on me, case closed, I'm putting hands on you. And somebody's going to have to stop me from continuously putting hands on you. I'm not just going to stop just because I decide, hey, you know what? I've had enough of whooping your ass after you spit on me. No. I'm going to constantly whoop your ass. Somebody better be there to pull me off of you. If you spit on me, I would never do that. I would never spit on nobody. Hell no. You're asking for it. I mean, you're asking for them to just pull a gun out the back of their pants and blow your brains out the back of your head, man. Because, like, how do you expect somebody to react to spitting on them? It's not going to be, let's hold hands and, you know, hop off into the sunset together. Let's just hold hands and hop off to the sunset together right after you spit on my face. Nah, man. Y'all got to stop with these hypocritical double standards in society, man. Y'all really do. You know, but yeah, lock up the Karen that spit on the old man. Give her a year. She scratched his face, assaulted him, and spit on him. That's three assaults right there at once. You put hands on him. Then she scratched his face, and another after she put hands on him. Then she spit. That's 3 different assaults charges right there in one assault case. You know, but yeah, and before I go, I'm gonna just get into this last little thing. I watched the video the other day where Joe Biden clearly. See, this is the thing. Joe Biden clearly came out when he was running for election and said, "I wasn't going to shut down the economy. I'm going to shut down the virus." That was clearly a blatant lie because he shut down the economy. Got shut down. There's still mandates. He didn't shut down the virus. And he clearly just came out and said, there's nothing he can do on a federal level. It's all up to the states now. Well, let's think. Partly why is that? Well, apparently they've ran out of tests. Apparently they don't even have enough tests. You know. So, yeah. I'm not going to say I told you so, but I told you so. You know, and clearly it's not even on a state level. We need to stop putting the responsibility on the state. It's an individual level. Once again, I have not been sick for 3 years. I go to the store every day or every other day. I went in the store plenty of times with no masks. I'm not washing my hands as soon as I get home after touching the credit card machines. I'm not sanitizing my hand 100,000 times a day. All that extra, even the social distancing, really, nobody's social distancing no more. There is no 6 feet apart stickers in none of these places no more. They've all wore off the ground. Nobody is standing 6 feet apart. You know, like, some things mankind just got to understand you have no control over. People are going to die. We're at war. We got my dog just walked up in here. Come here, puppy. Come on. She's coming in here crying. Come on, jump on my lap. And here's my dog, my little puppy, making an appearance on the Paul Pickett podcast. And she probably wants a treat or she wants to go outside. So we're going to wrap this up. Once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Paul Pickett podcast. This is my puppy, Gia the dog. If you're on TikTok, matter of fact, follow her, Gia the dog. And it's Gia, GIATHADAWG, Gia the dog. Or you could go look on who I'm following, and she's on there as well. My dog Gia got more followers than me on TikTok, so follow her, follow me. After I'm done going live, I will follow anybody that I'm not following that did tune into this live. Don't forget this podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. It's also sponsored by New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. And this is the New Litter mascot right here, Gia, my dog. If you like t-shirts and hoodies with dogs and cats on them, check them out. And we might have one with Gia coming soon. A little t-shirt and hoodie and a sweatshirt with Gia on it coming soon. Also, for Shizzle, I got to shout out Dizzlebrand.com. Dizzlebrand.com. Step into the future. Just add ice. Dizzle. Do your Dizzle.com. Check them out, Dizzlebrand.com. Don't forget the audio version of this podcast goes to Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Slacker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much more. Or you could Google, you see the name behind me here, Paul Pickett Podcast, PaulPickett. Once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. My name is Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, a.k.a. Triple P, a.k.a. the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and more. Peace. And we out.